Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Warehouse Whiteboard. My name is JJ. I'm glad you're here today. And here's what we talked about last night in student ministry. We took a little time to look back at the first 4 chapters of John to see what we've talked about and kind of review some of those high points. And as I walk over here, we did a little artistic expression of some of those ideas. And we have these beautiful depictions of those things. And I would love to get into the specifics of those, but it got a little bit creative in parts, but it was a great time and a great chance for the students to express themselves through art. But here are some of the things that we came up with as far as highlights in our conversation around John thus far. John chapter 1, the big question was, who is Jesus to me? And you can ask your students, several of the things we came up with was Jesus was the guy. He was the number one guy in the world, and it was a big deal. But also he was a snuggly bounty hunter. And this has to do with Jesus being in constant, relentless pursuit of his people, but a snuggly version of a bounty hunter, not there to freeze you and carbonite and take you in, but somebody who's there to embrace you, but passionately pursuing you. Chapter 2 is about Jesus being grumpy in the temple. Why was that? What things in our lives have maybe replaced the place where Jesus needs to be? So are there tables inside of us that might need to be flipped over? We talked about John 3 and we talked about verse 17 where it says Jesus came to save, to not condemn the world. And what does that mean for us? Are we to condemn others? And that answer is no. Are we there to offer the saving truth of Christ? That answer is yes. And then we got into John chapter 4 with the story of the woman that Jesus talks to, and the big takeaway there was that one person can make a huge difference. So that's a little bit from John that we've talked about, but I also want to say a big thank you to some other people that made a big difference, and that is those that were able to come alongside of us and sponsor our student ministry t-shirt project. We were able to hand out the shirts last night to the students. It was a great surprise. They had no idea it was coming. And they had no idea that there were so many people in the church that are praying for them, that are supporting them. And it was a beautiful picture to have folks surrounding the students and leaders and offering their prayers. And it's, students from the community that are here joining us on Wednesday nights, getting prayed for by people they don't even know. People they don't even know sponsoring a t-shirt that they can wear out in the world that can support what we're doing in ministry and can be a great conversation starter with those that are maybe curious about what the shirt means. So we are very grateful for all of those that came alongside of us last evening and for those that continue to pray for our ministry and for the students. And so that's just a really quick overview of what we talked about last night in our student ministry. We had a ton of fun, but we encountered Jesus. We dealt with some real truths from Scripture, and that is what Warehouse is all about. It's a great place for people to come with their questions, and it's a great place for the truth of Christ to be sort of that banner over which all things are operating. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad that we were able to share a little bit of truth with you through the Warehouse Whiteboard, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next time.